Hello, my alchemical beauties. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I sure have here. It's been such a special day, and I just feel so lucky to have so many wonderful, wonderful customers, and I love you all. But, anyways, it's time for Rose Garden Radio live from the very center of the universe. Canton, Ohio. Yay. I love it here, and I hope you do too. And we're getting ready for a very special weekend coming up with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But anyways, if you come on down. We're going to have Big First Friday. But I'm going to read, if this is your first time to Rose Garden Radio, Rose Garden Radio is dedicated to help you shift from what we call 3D, just the regular reality, to 5D, living our dream life fully from our hearts. And that is possible. But a lot of times I do little pie stories and things like that you can see on Rose Garden Radio on YouTube or on my Facebook for a month, but on YouTube it's there permanently. But anyways, today I'm going to be reading from my new young adult book, A Weekend with Aunt Larana and the Sisterhood of the Golden Rose. And this is stars my niece Amy, and I really appreciate it because I'm doing my final deep dive editing before I publish. And it really helps me reading it to you and getting any feedback and things like that. So this will be the third segment. And we're going to pick up where we left off last week, I believe, where Amy had just gone to bed after arriving, at Aunt Larana's house and so on and so forth. So it's the next day. And here we go. The next day, it is the next day, right? The next day I woke up feeling fantastic. I mean, vibrant. Like I was fully alive for the first time, if that doesn't sound too weird. I should say, like I was fully alive for the first time in my life. Thank you. If that doesn't sound too weird. And I felt happy inside too. Like I just couldn't wait to jump out of bed and meet the new day. Since when has life ever been like this for me? I asked myself. Never was my answer as I rummaged through my bag for something to wear. I ended up pulling on some jeans and a long-sleeved hoodie and throwing my favorite elephant vest on top to complete my look. Wow. Another perfect entrance, Amy, Aunt Larana told me as I entered the kitchen. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I ended up pulling my jeans. I'm going to say completing my look before heading downstairs. That will make more sense. Thank you. I appreciate that. Before heading downstairs. Wow, another perfect entrance, Amy, Aunt Larana told me as I entered the kitchen. How many buttermilk pancakes would you like? There's plenty, so don't be shy. Some real butter and warm maple syrup are already on the table with a pot of hot coffee, so just help yourself. I don't drink coffee, I said sheepishly. Oh, well, just take a little taste of it anyways, honey, Aunt Larana said as she flipped a pancake over expertly. I'll take 3. It feels like we're going to have a busy day, I decided, and headed into the dining room. Gearing up for it with a healthy, hearty breakfast and coffee for the first time in my life felt right. As I poured some coffee into an artsy ceramic mug I enjoyed Wait a minute. I enjoyed the aroma that filled the air. I need to work on that a little bit. Sorry, you guys, it's not that smooth, but that's why I'm reading it out loud to you. Um, my aunt came in carrying 2 plates stacked with 3 pancakes topped with blueberries and a dollop of homemade whipped cream. I put some cream and sugar on the table just in case you don't like the taste of black coffee, Amy, she said. I'm going to say my aunt said. Hold on. And by the look on your face as I watch you take a sip, you might want to try some. She laughed while sitting down, pouring herself a steaming cup of coffee, drizzling maple syrup over top her stack of pancakes and putting on a sprinkle of cinnamon before digging in. Okay. I followed my aunt's lead and decided to sprinkle a little cinnamon on my stack too, along with butter and maple syrup. I've always been more adventurous about new foods than my brother and twin sister. Do you feel like checking out a couple of those thrift stores in Hartville? Aunt Larana asked between bites. This is Amy speaking. I love to thrift. It's like finding a hidden treasure if I come across a Draper James dress in my size for a fraction of the cost. I like to regular shop too, but thrifting is rad, so I told my aunt it sounded like a good plan. Great, give me a minute to get ready now that we've finished breakfast and we'll head out. Aunt Larana was still in an elaborate floral robe that looked like it could have been, wait a minute. Aunt Larana was still in her, oh my gosh, elaborate floral robe that looked like it could have been ancient. I should say it looks like it could have been from another century. Let's say that. From another century. Okay. Can you drive? I love to ride, so I take every chance I can to do that, my aunt said as she waltzed up the staircase to get changed. Let's see, to get changed. To get ready. I love to drive, I exclaimed up after her. I'll just get a few things moved from the front seat, I ended up saying to myself as I opened the front door and walked down the porch steps and down the walkway towards the Plum. That's her car, the name of her car, if you haven't heard that, the other chapters. Okay, the day was sunny and the branches of forsythia the branches of forsythia looked like a sea creature with its tentacles looming over the sidewalk. My aunt's bird bath was nearly hidden in a sea of fuchsia, echinacea flowers, and butterflies were fluttering all around. I became mesmerized by a robin taking its bath. It was splashing around enthusiastically and shooting water high into the air with its wings. I had never seen a bird look like it was having so much fun before bathing itself. But everything else was off. First thing I noticed was Aunt Larana's antique horse post. Last night, it was in the living room, and today it was on the utility strip near the brick street. And my plum, the plum was gone. In its spot was a small buggy hitched to a single horse who was loosely tied to my aunt's horse post. It felt like a small feminine riding ensemble to me. Note to self, this is a weird observation to be having at this moment. I heard the front door open and turned around as Aunt Larana glided down her front walkway wearing a long floral dress. Dramatic sleeves swooped below her wrists, almost reaching her knees, and a narrow piece of material flowed down her back like a short train. She wore a matching hat and was carrying a little drawstring purse. My eyes must have gotten as big as saucers. My aunt had a sudden look on her face, too, and by our expressions, I knew we were both being taken by surprise. I looked down and saw that I was dressed in a similar outfit, modified for my age. I wore a floral dress with cap sleeves and a high cinched waist and a modest neckline. This was a far cry from my typical Saturday jeans and hoodie. Aunt Larana, what's going on? When I walked outside, everything was like this. Are we in a dream together? I asked, not expecting her to have any answers and thinking I would wake up in bed. Well, in a way, we are in a dream together. But that's a whole other conversation for another day, Amy. Let's see. We just finished breakfast in Canton, but right now, I'm not sure where we are. This is an unusual circumstance, my aunt said, looking all around. Aunt Larana, you don't seem upset. You're so calm. Well, I'm freaking out, I exclaimed. I could hear and feel my voice start to rise in my throat. Well, Amy, I occasionally find myself on a trip for the greater good of humanity, and that can involve traveling by car, plane, or even into other dimensions, Aunt Larana told me. That's why I'm not shocked or fearful right now. But what I can't figure out is why we are both here. And with the house, she added as her voice trailed away. I sensed my aunt was taking a few minutes to take everything in and gather her thoughts. After what seemed like a really long time of me staring at her, she spoke. Amy, I had a feeling I would end up telling you sooner or later, and it must be now, Aunt Larana said with a serious look on her face. I was feeling perplexed by the intensity of her statement and made a conscious effort to gather up all my energy and focus exclusively on my aunt. Everything seemed to drop away except the two of us. We could have been transported to a deserted mountaintop with wisps of clouds drifting by, and I don't think I would have noticed. Amy, my aunt began, holding on to my hands and looking deep into my eyes. Your Aunt Larana is part of an ancient sisterhood, the Sisterhood of the Golden Rose. We have existed here on Earth for thousands of years, although right now I seem to be the only sister on the planet. Aunt Larana realized she had my complete attention and continued her story. Throughout the ages, the Sisterhood of the Golden Rose have gathered together to bring peace and healing to the planet and to support each other in our spiritual growth. The sisterhood always believed that each of us would eventually achieve full consciousness, and this would raise our individual and collective vibration to a heightened new energy level. I just stood there staring at my aunt, not fully able to comprehend what I was hearing. I mean, just a few minutes ago, I was with my slightly eccentric favorite aunt, but this was over the top. My brain felt frozen. Finally, it started to work again. Aunt Larana, are you telling me that you are part of an ancient sisterhood called the Sisterhood of the Golden Rose, and that you're the only sister on the planet right now? Are you serious? I wailed. Honey, look around us. Yes, I'm dead serious. Everything I have told you is the truth. I just never imagined I'd be telling you under circumstances like this, my aunt said, swooping her arm around for emphasis. I knew from the moment I saw you that you were special like me. I have just been waiting for the right time to tell you, Aunt Larana said, smiling and raising her shoulders towards her ears. For a second, I'm thinking that this may be it, I said, feeling strangely calmer. I noticed that I still felt great, super energized, like a dial had been turned up inside of me. I've got it. My Aunt Lorana's voice broke me back to our present moment. The house is special. You remember how it chose me, right? Well, I think the house is alive and a part of our destiny because it became our transport system, my aunt said. We both turned around at the same time and stared up at the house. It looked unchanged to me. I patted my new dress and found a side pocket, and that contained my key ring where I kept my aunt's house key. I've always carried it with me since she gave it to me on my 16th birthday. Let's see how far we are. Here, she had said, and gave me a little box. When I opened it, I found a key printed with a peace logo like the one she always used. Now that you will be driving soon, I want you to know you can come to visit me anytime, even if I'm not here. My house is your house. Mi casa is su casa. So you will always have a room here, Amy, she told me. There was only one key on my ring now, and it was long and heavy. I'll check mine, Aunt Larana said, feeling in the hidden side pocket of her dress, too. Yes, just as I thought, she said, pulling out an identical key to my own. The house is fully merged into this dimension with us. Somehow we are all sealed together. And I think I'll stop here. It's a little further than I thought I was going to read. But thank you for your time. I do need to rework this section, I can tell, but I appreciate all your comments and getting back to me and helping me do this very special project. But until the next time, I love you. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you if you come downtown this coming weekend for any of the festivities. Please stop in and say hi to me. And until then, take care and have a beautiful day. I love you all.